Hi, everyone. My name is Lynne McIntee, and it is a pleasure to be here with you today. We're here for Youth Connections Café, and we're doing a shout out to Youth for Change Canada for allowing us to be here on this platform. It's all about connecting, creating, and inspiring the youth of today, and we underscore mental health in all that we do in all of our programming. If you have any ideas for programming, we encourage you to reach out to us on social media. And if you'd like to be a part of the organization or volunteer, please let us know. We can find ways to include you, and we're just so happy for you to join us today, whether you're listening or tuning in and visually tuning in. We appreciate you being here. It's exciting to be here because we all sort of work towards common goals in the community, and connecting, creating, and inspiring is our passion in Youth for Change. And our guest speaker today is also connected to an org, U+Toastmasters. Her name is Nat, and she's going to be speaking with us about presentation skills, but also public speaking as well. We're going to open up the conversation as well to some of the visitors here today, and we can just let the conversation flow and be chill with each other. So thank you for being here. And hi, Nat.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And we'll say hello to Prita and Kirsto as well. And you can jump in anytime at all. I know you know each other actually. So for anybody that's just listening and tuning in now, Preeta and Crystal are also connected to U+Toastmasters. So they're very comfortable with each other, and they may even ask a question or two on your behalf. So we'll see where we go from there. All right. So Nat, can you tell us a bit about yourself? We have your bio, but I thought I'd let you speak directly from your heart and yourself personally.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. So, hello, everyone. My name is Nat. I tell everybody to call me Nat because for my full name, Natalie, it feels too formal, and I love connecting with the youth in such a personal way. So, please feel free to call me Nat. A little bit about myself. I am currently in university. I attend University of Toronto Scarborough, and I'm going into my fourth year. I'm currently working with U plus, or I'm working at U+ Toastmasters, and it's been such a joy being able to journey with so many students like yourselves. I love sharing my insight, my experience when it comes to public speaking, because I know it can be really scary. Some fun facts I would say about myself. I love being active. Recently, when I got into university, I started playing volleyball a lot more, and I love it so very much. I love watching anime. I love all of those like new, like cartoony things, Disney, a huge fan of. I love Pokemon especially. I feel like when I go to schools for different parts of my job, I talk about Pokemon, everybody is like, whoa, really? You know what that is? So that's been really fun to share with the students. And I would say I've been with U+Toastmasters for a few months now, actually, and I have fallen in love with every step of it. I love working alongside my amazing coworkers. I love sharing my experiences. And I love hearing where all the students are coming from as well. Like we work with so many students across different school boards, and we get the chance to hear how confident they are in public speaking. And that's what I really love, just connecting with the students.
That's amazing. It really is quite a journey, as you said, and we're underscoring the journey because we're all on a journey together. And when we meet people like yourselves, it's just so empowering and so uplifting. And that's really, truly what it's all about in community, validating each other and giving everyone a voice, and everyone is welcome at the table. So I feel your energy. We feel your energy, and we're just so grateful to have you here today. May
Glad to
I,
be here.
thank you. May I ask, how did you find U+ Toastmasters before we kind of go on to your presentation?
Yeah, of course. How I got into U+Toastmasters, I first applied to U+Education, and after my interview, they gave me like my project, my assignment, and they placed me with U+Toastmasters. To start off, I had no idea what U+Toastmasters was before I began working here, and I think it was based off of like my experience, things that I've shared, because I've been involved with youth for maybe like for the past 6 years, very
Wow.
involved like through summer camps, through different programming and everything. And because of that, and also I don't know if you can tell I'm very extroverted person. So because of my energy as well, they placed me with this program, and it's been up from here.
Hmm. The extrovert is really also great. So thank you for that and for mentioning that. For someone that may be an introvert or shy, this is a great opportunity to maybe learn ways to navigate their way through their journey in terms of having to do public speaking or presenting. We seem to always have to do it in some capacity in parts of our lives. So thank you for mentioning the extrovert part, but we welcome the opportunity for someone to find their way when they're feeling introverted, and that's who they are as a person. And we would like to validate you in that capacity as well. That's really cool, Nat. Super cool, actually. I don't know, Crystal and Prita, would you want to do a little short introduction for yourselves, or and feel comfortable if you, yeah.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm a part of U+ Education as well, alongside Nat and Crystal. I'm an HR coordinator, but I sometimes participate in U+ Toastmaster events. Recently, I've been participating in Leaders of Tomorrow programs that we've been running at schools, and I'm sure Nat will talk more about that. But yeah, it's been a great experience, and it's been fun getting to know the kids and also boosting my own public speaking skills as well because I tend to find myself as an introvert. So this is a great experience for me to develop my skills as well.
Very cool. And Prita, what are you studying at school? I couldn't
Yeah,
quite
so
hear the
I'm at
audio.
mhm,
Oh, sorry, I couldn't quite hear
no
100% on
worries,
the
yeah.
audio. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. Yeah.
No, I it's my fault. I didn't mention it. But
Oh,
I go to University of Toronto Scarborough. I'm specializing in mental health studies. So I have a passion for studying mental health and helping the youth as well.
amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate it. And Nat, thank you for letting
No
us
problem.
engage here before we move on. And we have Crystal. Crystal, could you tell us how did you find it, or maybe a little bit about yourself?
Okay, yeah. I'm Crystal, and I just finished my third year at university at U of T. I'm studying HR, and at U Plus, I'm a marketing coordinator. And in September, I'll be in charge of senior Toastmasters. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let's underscore that. We may come back to that, Crystal, and
Mhm.
see which direction you're going to take it. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Nat, I wondered if we want to free flow with the presentation and see where we go with questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go for it. And
All
thank you
right.
so much for joining us. Once again, thank you to Youth for Change Canada for allowing us to be here so we can provide programming, Youth Connections Cafe, and reaching all of our youth in the communities.
Amazing. Are you okay if I share my screen?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. I hope we can see that okay. Let me just see if I could full screen it. Or actually, we can only do it from here. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much again to Lynn and Youth for Change for having us here today. Today, we have the public speaking, we're going to be talking about public speaking with U+Toastmasters. So let's get to it. We did already have a brief introduction with what it is, but just in case, hello everyone. My name is Natalie GuioGuio. You guys can call me Nat, and I work with U+Toastmasters as the volunteer manager and one of the project coordinators. Again, some more fun facts about me is I have a dog. I don't know if you guys are animal people, but I have a dog. Her name is Suki. She's like 4 years old. I love her to bits. And I'm actually the middle child. Some people, when they witness me, they're like, oh, are you the older child or are you the younger child? No, I'm not. I'm the middle child. So shout out to my um, child people here too. And a lot of you must be wondering, what is U+Toastmasters? Unfortunately, U+Toastmasters is not about the art of toast. If it was, I wouldn't be burning my toast all the time. But U+Toastmasters is a sub-organization with U+ Education, and we focus on public speaking. We work alongside students and seniors to help with their public speaking skills and boost up their confidence. What I'll be talking about today is the youth portion, and maybe Crystal later on can touch a little bit about the senior portion as well. And fun fact over here, this is one of our two mascots. This is Mojito, and you'll see Mojito or throughout the presentation. So count how many times you see Mojito if you can. All right. And our next slide here is just a little snapshot of us in action. So over here in the glasses on your top left, that is our president, Risha. She is the She has been a part of U+Toastmasters for the past 2 years. She was unable to join us here today for this meeting, but she sends her regards and she's so happy to have us here, and she thanks Youth for Change once again. And over here on our right side is just some of my team members and I, after Leaders of Tomorrow. We coincidentally matched together. I thought that was really cute. It wasn't coordinated at all. And as you can see within these snapshots, we are working with a lot of different students coming from different backgrounds, coming from different experiences. We welcome everyone and anyone from any experience. Right now, we're only working with grade 4s and 5s. So grade 4s, 5s, and 6s. But because we are planning on expanding the program, we're hoping to work alongside even more grades as well. But this is just a few snapshots. I'll talk about Leaders of Tomorrow a little afterwards. As mentioned before, I'm going to be talking about public speaking. But how can I talk about something if we don't know what it is? So what is public speaking? Public speaking, I would say, is actually pretty self-explanatory. You're speaking in public with an audience. This could be in school, this could be for your clubs, this could be anywhere. You could be talking about your research, your assignments, your opinions, your thoughts. Somebody very close to you that publicly speaks every day is probably your teacher. When they're teaching in front of the classroom, that's considered public speaking. And that is just a little bit on what that is. And again, you see our mascot Mojito, and our other mascot is Mojo. These are really fun mascots that we have here with U+Toastmasters because they have a mic and everything, and we're all about public speaking. But that's everything there is to know, I would say, about public speaking. So let's continue on. I don't know if you can notice, as mentioned before, I am an extroverted person. But even though I am extroverted, I'm not that great of a public speaker at times. So what I'm going to share with you now is my testimony, my background on how I came to be the speaker that I am today. Growing up, I had to do a lot of different presentations. Maybe it was for a science project or a book report, anything of the sort. Every time before I presented, I was always so nervous. I would get knots in my stomach, sweaty palms, sweaty hands. Any sort of nervous tick that you guys have, I've probably been there. And it took me a long time for me to actually feel confident to be able to speak out to strangers, to speak out in front of classrooms. It's not an easy thing to do. As I got older, especially with all this practice, something that I adopted was the motto, just do it. Yes, that is from Nike, but I took this deeply to heart because if I wanted to get through this presentation, get through all these nervousness, I just have to do it. Just do it. It was so important for me to adopt this mindset because once I adopted it, I was like, all right, I just have to get through 10 minutes of this presentation. Boom, I'm done. I can breathe again. It'll be great. And
Quick question. Thank you, Natalie. Thanks for reading the room. That's amazing. You could tell I was going to ask a question. That's very good. That's a total public speaker right there. So how old were you when you started to try it? And you were like, you really thought, oh, I didn't know, I don't have those skills. But when did you start to figure this out?
for me, it would be around grade 8. For different
Okay.
students, I feel like you can gain this confidence at different ages, maybe as young as grade 3 or grade 1. Like you just want to have that confidence, or it can happen later on in high school. I just so happen to be surrounded by a lot of uplifting and powerful leaders with my youth group, with my clubs, with my school. And because of this unending support, I was like, if they can do it, so can I. So it's not a set age that you have to adopt this mentality or gain this confidence. Everybody is going at their own pace.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. I just, again, in grade 8, I was able to adopt this mentality and gain even more experience through school. And then eventually, once I got to university, I got to be more involved with camps as a camp counselor, a lead camp counselor, and it's been up from here. The way I'm saying this journey, however, it's not a whole straight road. It was actually a whole lot of ups and downs. It took me a long time to gain this confidence and still continuously lift myself up. When you're public speaking, a lot of the times you notice the little things. You notice when somebody's sleeping while you're talking. You notice that when you mess up one of your lines. You notice when you said something too soon or too late. You notice those small things. And that's what can build up your nervousness. And I've been there. It's not easy, especially when I'm noticing all these small things. As public speakers go, we just get better through time. And it actually leads into my next point here. So that's just a little bit how I journeyed here to be a public speaker. Even though I seem pretty confident now, I'm still nervous. I still have to follow some of these tips myself. I still have to take a breather and, wipe those sweaty palms and everything. So don't worry. Maybe you are becoming a better public speaker or you're still starting out. Either way, I've been in your shoes, so don't worry. Now, leading to my next point, tips and tricks on becoming a better public speaker. These are my top 3 tips that I use when I'm public speaking, so that way I can at least have some sort of control with what my mind focuses on. I don't have to focus so much on the little mistakes, just focus on giving the speech. So, tips and tricks. Number 1, pausing throughout your speech. A lot of the times when we're speaking, we either go too fast or we start saying filler words such as like, so. Ever since joining U+Toastmasters and being a part of one of our programs called the Gavel Club, we have somebody who is called the grammarian and odd counter. I'll get into that a little later, but essentially their responsibility is to count how many times when someone is speaking says a filler word. This freaks me out. I didn't realize how many times I said filler words. Sometimes it would be up to 50 when I'm giving a speech, and that's kind of crazy. The tip that I adopted through this was pausing throughout my speech. Every time I felt like I was about to say there's a pause, see? Every time I thought I was going to say a filler word, I would pause, recollect my thoughts, and do it again. A few days ago, I actually just came back from a convention in Arizona, and they had a lot of great public speakers, amazing public speakers. However, a lot of the times they continued saying, And because I run these workshops and everything, I noticed it. And it was because they weren't taking those pauses. So remember these pauses when you give your next presentation or speech.
Natalie, I just wanted to comment cross-culturally and multilingual. It's in many languages, right? It doesn't matter what language it is. There's that pause in there and those little talking points that you're talking about, right? It's like but and it depends on where you're from, but there's always some version of that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
no problem. Tip number 2, using hand gestures. You can't really see it because I'm on Zoom, but I've been doing a lot of hand gestures while I'm speaking. This helps boost up your presentation, your speech so much, and it actually distracts your hands. When we're feeling nervous, we tend to play with the paper that has our speech on it, or we start fiddling with our shirt. When we have hand gestures, it shows that we are an engaged speaker. We want to engage with our audience with what we're saying. And when we use hand gestures, we're keeping our hands busy. We're finding the right moments to go like, aha, oh. It helps bring emphasis to what you're saying, and it also helps keep your audience engaged as well. When they're watching you and you're giving hand gestures, they're like, oh, I never thought about that idea. This must be super important because they did this. It's really great to practice, and it helps keep your hands free. If I wasn't doing that, I'd probably be fidgeting with whatever is on my desk right now. But
And
using
that,
hand
oh,
gestures.
sorry to interrupt there, Nat. That comes in handy too theatrically as well. So if you've worked in theater, that's very much on the forefront. Those gestures that you have to do and emphasis, with your body language, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Course. And I'm not saying, oh, put your hands out like this all the time. Of course, we want to use relevant hand gestures. Yeah, exactly, Lynn. If I go like, you'd think I'm surprised about something. Or if I just have my hands slumped down to the side, you'd think I was bored or I didn't want to be here. Your body language and hand gestures are so important when it comes to public speaking. So try it for your next speech. See where you would want to put some hand gestures. And for my last tip, practice, practice, practice. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is so important to practice before you give any sort of presentation or speech. And you can practice in many other ways. Sometimes you would want to record your speech and listen to it throughout the day, thinking, okay, I got to memorize this. Let me listen to it again and again. What I like to do myself is practice in front of my friends. At least with my friends, I can get the giggles out. They can be real with me when I need feedback, and they can be attentive listeners because they know how important it is to me. Another tip I would suggest, practice in front of a mirror. Sometimes when you're talking, you don't realize your facial expression. I could be talking like this the whole time and I wouldn't even realize it because I can't see myself. But when I practice in front of a mirror, I can realize, hey, I can smile a little more. I could be a little serious over here, or I can express my face in this way. Similar to our previous tip on using hand gestures, your body language is so important. Having an expressive face, being able to practice will be able to keep your audience engaged and you can have fun with it too. When I smile genuinely. I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time sharing with all of you here. So give it a try, practice. And again, there's so many other ways to practice rather than what I'm telling you, but make sure you do it.
Now, I have a question. So when you're
Yeah.
at different conditions, so you may be presenting outside, you may be
Mhm.
presenting inside. So that can be very different for some people, those, conditions, right? So
Yeah.
could you speak to that?
Yeah, so with the different conditions of being indoors or outdoors, it would be very dependent on what you're presenting. If you're outdoors giving a very serious speech, you want to, I guess it depends on where the sun is too, but if you're outdoors, still be as expressive as you can be and maybe have some fun with it as well. Like you can crack some jokes here or there when you're talking outdoors and maybe address some things like, oh, or like relate your speech to things that are happening outdoors for events. When you're speaking indoors, it would be different. I'm also assuming in each scenario there's mics, but if you don't have mics, that's a different story as well. Because when you're outdoors, you have to speak a little louder. You don't have available acoustics to be able to echo your voice. So being able to modulate how loud you can be and being how quiet you can be. That would be like very distinctive things when you're indoors and outdoors. And indoors as
Thank-
well, it would be pretty similar.
No, thank you for that. And if you visualize a theater, right? If a theater seating 500, for example, that voice projection is so key, almost bouncing it against the back of the wall and coming
Mm,
back to you, right? So it's very voluminous, if you will. No, very nice. Thank you.
of course. So with U+Toastmasters, we happen to offer a lot of different programs. What I mentioned earlier was the Gavel Club. This program is offered virtual and in person, and within Gavel Club, we work with students ages 8 to 12 and 13 to 18. Each student has a speaking role. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more of which role, or what role is, or what our roles are, please feel free to check out our website as well. I'll share the link a little afterwards. Essentially, what happens here in this Gavel Club, we each have our assigned roles and we speak when our assigned role is called on. There is the joke masters. Those guys come up with really funny jokes or riddles that lighten up our meeting. We have our small talkers and speakers. Those two are our biggest speaking roles, and the only difference is how long you're speaking for. Your small talkers are 2 to 3 minutes, your speakers are 3 to 5. And this Gavel Club happens every single week with different sort of topics, and students come together sharing their work. It gives you a chance to practice your public speaking skills, but also meeting with others, creating that sense of community. I know when we ended our Gavel session this past year, everyone got so much closer with each other. They feel very comfortable speaking in front of them because they're familiar. And I love Gavel Club very much because of our virtual one especially. I'm meeting students from all over. Some came all the way from Aurora, some are coming from Milton and everything. And those are pretty far places where I'm from. And it's been such a joy seeing how much they've grown the past few months. So that's our Gavel Club. Something else that I mentioned earlier was our Leaders of Tomorrow program. Our Leaders of Tomorrow program is a public speaking workshop that we actually use to go to different schools, working alongside students from grade 4 to 6. And we run public speaking games, very similar to Gavel Club, but because we don't have enough time to do a full-fledged meeting, we use public speaking games to help boost their confidence and work on different skills. You were mentioning earlier being expressive, changing your emotions. One of our games is called the voice modulation game. This game focuses on saying a sentence in a different emotion. You could be angry, sad, or upset, and we give you the emotion and you express it. So that's been a really fan favorite of our games. Do you want to ask
I just
anything?
have to say, this is so cool. Really, thank you so much for sharing with all of us. Really appreciate it. And it's exciting just to hear about these different opportunities.
And one of our other opportunities is a regional speech contest. So students are able to apply with us on our website, make their own speeches, and I guess you could call it a tryout. You'd be going through a bunch of different judges, and if you get selected to be a part of the speech contest, you get to present that in front of a much bigger crowd. I find it very fun because students get the creative liberty to make their speeches about things that are important to them. And I find that when you're passionate about something and you get to speak on it, it makes you sound very like more excited, more animated to be talking about whatever you made for your speech. And our second annual regional speech contest is actually this Saturday. It'll be my first one ever. So I'm very excited to see all of our students and present their speeches. So I'm really excited.
That's incredible. Would you mind, are we allowed to do a shout out for, is it something that's open to the public?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
something open to students, I believe. It's similar to the age groups for Gala Club, 8 to 12 years old, and then 13 to 18. Those are the categories. And the process is we open up applications, I would say, I think it was March or February. You create a speech, you send a video submission, and if we select your speech to continue forward through the rounds, you'll be able to present your speech afterwards. And it's a friendly competition, but we're mostly focusing on how students are using their public speaking skills and their creativity to come up with speeches. And we have like judges coming in and everything. So, yeah.
Amazing. That is cool.
So if any of you guys are interested in participating in the regional speech contest, please check out our website and maybe you can be one of our contestants next year. Again, here I'd like to share some pictures from our programs. So on our left side, we have our Gala Club students. We meet together every single week. These kids have been journeying together for a whole year outside of school. They come from different grades and different schools. And when they come together, they're able to encourage one another, share their speeches, be able to joke around with each other. It's been so fun to see them grow and to become and slowly becoming better public speakers than when they first started. And then on your very right side, you'll see our leaders of tomorrow, some snapshots. As you can see, once again, we're working with a whole ton of students. It's usually 30 students per classroom. And we share with them not only our own journeys and our testimonies, we share them public speaking tips and games that they can use for their everyday life or they can use at school. We still have students asking us, hey, are you guys going to come back to our classroom later today? Or hey, can you guys come back next year? They have so much fun with it. And so do I. I love playing all these games. And I know Paritha can definitely comment on this as well, as she was one of our leaders for Leaders of Tomorrow. But it was a beautiful, beautiful program that we recently just started. And seeing the fruits of it has been amazing.
That is very cool and very encouraging, uplifting. You can feel that community of love, I guess, if you will. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All right. And of course, U+Toastmasters has a lot of opportunities for you as well. Maybe you don't want to be part of our Gala Club, or you want to be able to contribute to your community, but also work on your own personal public speaking skills in your own way. We have volunteer opportunities as well. We offer them both virtually and in person. So if this is something that speaks out to you and you do want to become better in your communication and public speaking skills, I highly suggest checking us out. We have our social media assistant, our web assistant, our data analyst. That is our virtual opportunity. So if that's something that interests you, I would say totally go for it. And our marketing assistant, event planning volunteer, youth ambassador, those are our in-person in-person opportunities, especially, for example, this Saturday we have a regional speech contest. Some of our students didn't want to be a part of the contest, but still wanted to be a part of the events. They're volunteering with us now. And they get the chance to talk to parents, talk to kids, talk to our other staff members. This gives them a great opportunity to build their teamwork skills, their collaboration skills, their public speaking skills. So I would say totally check out our opportunities that are available on our website. And I will actually leave some time here to check out these QR codes if you are interested, especially if you would like more information on any of our programs, any of our opportunities. I know the regional speech contest is a very popular fan favorite, so definitely check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, did you want to
So,
comment? Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for reading that. You're very good at that, actually. I noticed that already. So thank you for that, Nat. Crystal, would they be working with you if they're a marketing assistant?
Um, I think like I mostly work with marketing coordinators, and I think they might be working at in a different office than me, but we might like talk about things like online.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
I wondered, Nat, before we open up the floor to Crystal and Puritha, if we could talk about a moment where you had a very successful speech, a presentation, but maybe perhaps some where you've had to work through that adversity. Could you speak to that a little bit if you feel comfortable? And so just a recap, so if there was a difficult speech that you had to overcome and you ended up doing really well on it, and then if there was one like, oh, wow, this is fantastic, and really, really great feedback on it.
Would that be for me or
For
Preetha?
you, pardon me?
For me?
Yes, Nat, yes,
Okay,
thank
sorry.
you.
I thought I heard Preetha, so I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
A time that I had to give a speech was actually sharing my personal journey with one of my youth groups. That would be back in March. This was a really hard speech for me because it was so close to my heart. I had to talk about my overcomings, my upbringings, like things that I struggled with youth, like with teenagers. And I was so nervous for this one because it was big. It was talking a lot about my pains, like my mental health and everything. And I had to become vulnerable with other teenagers that probably hardly know me. And it was also kind of hard too because my brother was in the crowd. And because my younger brother was in the crowd, being able to share so vulnerably was a little difficult. But
Mhm.
after talking to I guess you could call him my supervisor, like my team lead, I was still nervous. I was still nervous. But when I got them to the stage, I looked at the crowd and I was like, all right, time to just do it. And I thought I was going to mess up. I thought I was going to say the wrong thing, but I just let the words flow, especially because it's my own personal story.
Yeah.
I just let the words flow and hope that it touched somebody. That's all I could ask. And afterwards, everybody was like, wow, Nat, first of all, I never knew you had to go through something like that. Second of all, it was so amazing with how you put it because I was able to relate to it. I was able to take something from it. And thank you for your witness because these were teenagers talking to me, right? Some of these teenagers, unfortunately, were going through the same pain that I did. And hearing my story, it gave them a ray of hope that it gets better. So that would be like my most recent time where I had to publicly speak in such a way that I thought, oh, what's gonna go on over here?
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that. It's a beautiful moment, actually, for you, actually, experiencing that crowd. So thank you very, very much for that. Sometimes we think we're the only one that's going through it, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I appreciate that very much. Nat, are you comfortable if we open up the floor here to our other guests,
Yeah,
and then maybe we can jump
absolutely.
back to you at some point as well?
Yeah, of course.
Just
Would you
to
like me to stop sharing?
actually, if you'd like to keep it up for a moment, I'm
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So
Sure.
if someone wants to make sure they get that, thank you. Like I'm inspired, and I don't even I'm lost for words because it's like, oh wow, you really articulate well what you're passionate about. And I hope that others find that way as well too.
Thank
So, and
you.
it
Thank
takes
you.
time. It really, I can think of shyness when I was a child as well. And sometimes people don't think, oh, well, you were shy, because I feel comfortable public speaking. But everybody has something that they work on in life, and
Mhm.
different avenues, different pockets in their lives at different times. So it's okay, to work on different techniques, I guess.
Mhm.
Amazing. Who would like to kind of jump in and talk? Crystal or Parita? We can open up the floor, maybe your roles or your experiences.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think you guys wanted me to touch upon senior Toastmasters. So it is similar to Gavel Club, but we're more focused on providing these free sessions to people that are 55 plus. So we want to work on improving their public speaking skills and their digital literacy skills. So this may include sessions such as teaching them Google programs for 55 plus, such as like Google Maps and Google Calendar, because some of them are a bit behind in technology. And we also teach them scam prevention because they have been getting a lot of scam calls and their private information taken. So we just want to make sure they are well protected from these scammers.
Mhm. Pretty important work, actually, that you do then. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and so that speaks to our older population, but they're welcome at the table for the conversation and for learning and growing in the community, and really appreciate that. Crystal, I wonder, when did that program start, the 55 plus?
I think this is fairly new, but I do know they ran this last year as well, and we're going to continue it this September.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And who would be some of the participants? Where would they come from? Are they from the area? Are they recommended or referred?
This will run in the Markham area. So there are right now we're focused more on the Markham area, but I think we will spread out to other regions if it is successful.
Do you find it different working with the youth as opposed to 55 plus? Are there similar adversity challenges?
Actually, I haven't started yet, but today I did attend my first senior Toastmaster event, and it is different because the audience, like obviously the age is different, and with seniors, they don't like to be taught as if they're like students. They want to be kind of just like on same level as you when talking to them. So that is a difference.
It's interesting. What comes to mind is teaching English. When you're teaching the prepositions, are you talking with or at a person? Very, very different, right? With is
Hmm.
engaging and encompassing, whereas at is one directional. So it can feel like that. Are you with in this conversation? Are we together, or is it at, target kind of thing, right?
For sure.
Yeah, thanks, Crystal. Anything you'd like to share about yourself and what brought you to the table?
So I'm the marketing coordinator, and usually I just create flyers and digital content such as like TikTok, Reels, Instagram posts just to promote um, like Toastmasters, like the Gavel Club, Senior Toastmasters, and just the company in general. And what brought me here was honestly, I just had to I found this through my co-op portal, and this is what brought me here.
Cool. It's
Yeah.
interesting. I picked up on the word just. I just, and as minimizing your contributions, right? So I just do this, but that's important work, right? Very important work. And not everyone has that skill. They could learn those skills, but not everybody has those skills. So that's really, really important. And you're making a connection with many people then, and you have to be present in the work that you do, right? Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Thank you. What are you studying?
I'm studying HR.
HR, yeah, for
Yeah.
anyone that wasn't in our conversation. We talked about it before we started, but I wanted to make sure that people were aware. So you find that this is very applicable to the work that you're doing in HR, but moving forward in the HR profession.
Yeah, I'm also interested in marketing, so I was just trying new things out for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
Thank you. What other tidbits, any words of encouragement, for our youth or 55 plus, or some of our senior adults who may be just a little nervous about getting into this, or I don't know if I should open that door.
Actually, I was talking to one of like the elderlies today at the Senior Toastmaster event, and they told me that after joining Senior Toastmasters, they improved their confidence a lot because um, at their first session, they were actually too shy to even stand up and share anything about themselves. And now they are really comfortable in public speaking. So I do think Toastmasters is really important and they can really build people's confidence.
That's great. Thank you,
Mhm.
Crystal. Appreciate that.
No
Praditha,
problem.
thank you. Thank you. Praditha, if there's anything you would like to share about your role, how you found Toastmasters, maybe the program that you're in, if you're studying at school, maybe you're not studying, you've graduated already. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I'll just make this a little quick. I know Nat and Krista have covered a lot about U+Toastmasters, but as I mentioned earlier, I'm specializing in mental health studies at UTSC. I have a passion for working with youth and others and just supporting them, giving them the resources that they need to essentially be confident in themselves, feel supported when they are in their lowest moments. I think that's really important because I've seen a lot of people, as well as myself, coming up in different ways and going through different challenges. It's important to reach out to friends, families, even like the person sitting next to you and trying to understand their perspective. And I also think by joining U+Toastmasters, I was able to see a different side of developing that confidence, I would say. When I was volunteering for the Leaders of Tomorrow program, it was really interesting working with the children because a lot of the teachers came up to us and they're like, oh, I've never seen this student speak so much before. And all of a sudden today, they're like super chatty and like they wouldn't stop talking. It was just like a really rewarding thing to hear from these teachers. And it wasn't just like one or two students. It was like every single class we went to, there was always one student who just like surprise the teacher. And like there's also those other students who are just advancing those skills. So it's something that was like really, it stuck to me and it was something that I'm really happy that I was a part of and proud to be a part of. But I also wanted to emphasize our volunteer programs that we're offering because I think the volunteering programs and opportunities that we're offering are a great chance for you to essentially develop your volunteer experience, get your hours, but also develop your skills and your connections. I think, as we mentioned, we have our public speaking programs and our Leaders Tomorrow and Toastmasters, like, all those different programs like Gavel Club. But as a volunteer, you get to basically contribute to the programs that we're hosting and also develop your own public speaking skills. So essentially, there's several things you can benefit from, and we're constantly looking for new volunteers, and we're open to it. So I emphasize looking at our QR codes that Nat has here and checking our volunteer options that we have. As Nat mentioned already, we have remote opportunities, in-person opportunities. So yeah, definitely check it out. And I hope to see a lot of volunteers.
Thank you. If someone wanted to volunteer, is there an age cap?
Yeah, essentially we're looking for volunteers between the ages of 12 to 30. We are open to anywhere between that range. And yeah, that's essentially what we're looking for.
Okay. Is someone matched with the mentor when they take on a volunteer role?
Yeah, so depending on the role, for example, if you are a web development assistant, as a volunteer, you'll be paired with the full-time or co-op staff who is essentially more experienced in that role and has an idea of what tasks to give you. So essentially, they would be your buddy. You'll get tasks from them, but you also get mentorship and you'll get that guidance that you need. And it's a great connection as well. And to add on to that, actually, we also host networking sessions. So that's something we're going to launch in September. So these networking sessions are a great opportunity for volunteers to connect with others, maybe even meet some guest speakers. And that's something we're still working on and developing. So hopefully any new volunteers can get to be a part of that as well.
Oh, thank you for highlighting that. And for Nat, Pratitha, and Crystal, so this networking, sorry, I'm pausing for thought here. Is it like for everybody, or is it just like certain ages, or?
Essentially, we're taking our internal volunteers, but we're also looking to recruit new volunteers. So this networking session is basically open to the public as a way for us to promote our volunteer opportunities and get new volunteers as well to join our organization.
That is awesome. This is so cool. I'm so glad that we're getting the opportunity to speak today and learn about you as individuals, but also the organization and the levels that it offers for people. It's really exciting, very incredible. I've had the opportunity to interview other Toastmaster programs, but I'm feeling your energy today for sure and what you have to offer in your region, but also, I guess national. Are you doing nationally or provincially? Provincially.
As of right now, I think we're just regional.
Yeah.
We are looking to expand more into like more of the east end, so like Oshawa, Durham region,
Mm.
and then more so into the south, like Scarborough, downtown Toronto. But slowly, we're just focusing on Markham and Richmond Hill for now. But we do hope to expand just a little more every time.
Hmm, interesting. Let's see, Crystal or Preeta, do you have any questions for Nat? Although you work together, any questions you wanted her to highlight?
Yeah, I think, Nat, could you answer what your favorite part about U plus Toastmasters is?
I think my favorite part of U Plus Toastmaster is the community that we build. Because U Plus Toastmasters is not only a small team, but it's also relatively new. Like only the past few years, organization has come to be. The team has been so encouraging and so engaging. So people like Crystal, Paritha, our president Risha, it's been so easy to work with them and be able to journey together in our own public speaking and to improve our own public speaking and getting the chance to work with kids. I love working with kids so very much and hearing how much they love our program, how much they love public speaking now. It's something I love every single time.
Does that answer your question, Preeta?
Yes, it answers my question. Thank you, Nat.
Thank you. Crystal, any question for Nat?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm being an educator as well, public speaking, or even just starting with a book, reading a book out loud to a group. That is often a way to sort of empower, engage others, and it's a really good way to start. If someone's starting very, very young, it's beautiful to see when someone finds their way, and it could start with something like that, and that can lead to other avenues as well too. But start with a children's book if you can. You can be playful. You can step outside yourself, not take yourself too seriously, but enjoy the people around you. Take the print, seriously. So it's a lot of fun that way. Oh gosh, I'm just so thrilled that I'm getting an opportunity to spend time with you. I do have a couple of follow-up things. I wondered if perhaps you could speak to if your teachers saw you, your primary teachers saw you now, what would the difference be in your presentation skills?
Oh gosh. If my oh gosh.
And what's primary, sort of, 7, 8, even early high
Yeah.
school? Yeah.
I would say my grade 8 teacher, he would definitely be like, I'm not surprised. I saw it coming a mile away after like see how I was back in grade 8 and now how much I've grown as a leader. And I would say like from like my early high school teachers as well, they wouldn't recognize me. They wouldn't believe that I was one of their students. So just thinking about that, it's like it's kind of crazy because I think with my grade 8 teacher, I stay in contact with him quite often, like for his visits and everything like that. And him being like one of my biggest inspirations, him witnessing how far I've come, it would truly like, wow, who is she?
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. All right, let's go to Parita. Same.
Yeah, I would say pretty much the same thing. I'm trying to think of what my teachers would say, and honestly, I don't think they would recognize me at all. I've always been the introverted student, and I'd always like, just like quickly show an answer to my classmate and be like, "Here, say this, answer this question," and then I would let them answer the question and like, speak to the group. But I honestly don't know. Like I feel like they would be just as surprised as I am for how far I've come in terms of public speaking.
Amazing. Thank you. Crystal.
So I'm a bit similar to Preeta as well. I was always really introverted and shy at school. And I would still say I'm pretty much the same, but I think my primary teacher may say like I've gotten a bit more confident and a bit more outgoing as compared to maybe 10 years ago, for sure.
It's a beautiful thing to see someone flourish, and I'm sure they'd be very proud of you to see you living your authentic self, yourselves, because really you're finding your way and you're evolving as you go, right? So well done for all of you. Any questions for me before we wrap up, or if you would like to give words of wisdom for your final thoughts as we finish our programming?
Yeah, I could say like my last words of wisdom for all of you. Again, just do it, but also believe in yourself. Your biggest supporter will be yourself because you know yourself the best. Yes, of course, your parents are so proud of everything that you do, but they're not going to know the small things, right? They're not going to know how you overcame saying so many filler words, or they're not going to know how you became better in using your hand gestures or like those like small wins, but you will. So I hope from this you're able to gain some more tips on public speaking, but also have some more confidence in yourself because anybody can publicly speak.
Thank you. Crystal or Praditha, who would like to go next? Words of wisdom.
I would say just to never give up because I think public speaking can be really difficult, but with practice comes, well, not like perfection, but like you can get closer to perfection. So just it takes a lot of time and patience.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Praditha?
Yeah, I would say try your best because it's not going to be a perfect road. There's going to be bumps, like Nat said earlier. Just try to take those as little challenges in your road, and just try to overcome them step by step. You're always going to grow, you're always going to learn. So just take each little victory and roll with it.
Cool. Thank you. I'm feeling your energy. If someone is not able to use the QR code and they wanted to find you in another capacity on social media, how could they find you?
Of course, you guys can follow us also. I can, or if Crystal or Preetha could type this in chat as well so that we have it. Our Instagram handle is U+Toastmasters. It's not it's spelled UPLUSTOASTMASTERS. Somebody hopefully got me in chat there. Thank you, thank you. And follow us on Instagram. Our link to our website is on there. Both of these QR codes lead you to somewhere on our website. So I do hope that you check us out. And if you have any questions regarding like how to apply or anything like that, somebody from our team will actually be able to respond to you if you DM us as well.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to spend time with you. For our listeners and viewers, I hope that they've gained valuable knowledge from U+Toastmasters, from Nat. Thank you so much for being our official guest speaker. And we had Paritha and Crystal join us as well, sharing their expertise and knowledge. I just loved spending the time with you. We love spending the time with you. Thank you for being so gracious with your time. And I really look forward to spending some more time with you again on another level.
Of course. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
Pleasure, pleasure. And shout out to Youth for Change Canada for allowing us to be here on this platform in a safe space to engage, connect, create, and inspire. You have inspired us here today. Thank you so much, Nat, Paritha, and Crystal. We're signing off for Youth for Change. My name is Lynne McIntee. I've been your host today. Thank you very, very much from our heart to yours. See you next time.